So, you've watched the teaser trailer for Supergirl. Now you must be wondering, who exactly is this Supergirl? What is her origin? Why is her personality so different from Superman's? And what is this Supergirl movie actually about? Don't stress too much. Why do you think I opened this channel? Today, I'm going to tell you who Supergirl really is, what the Supergirl movie is about, and even what role Lobo plays in it. Because in the comic book storyline that inspired this movie, Lobo wasn't even there. So keeping a few mild spoilers in mind, let's begin. First, let's learn who Supergirl is. Supergirl's actual baseline comic book origin story first appeared in Action Comics issue number 252, and over time, this origin has gone through several changes. So let's explore the story of Supergirl, also known as Zor-El. When Krypton was about to witness its final moments, Jor-El placed his infant son in a space pod and sent him toward Earth. At that same time, when Krypton exploded, a chunk of land detached from the planet and drifted into space. This landmass was known as Argo City. When Argo City separated from Krypton, the people believed they had been given a new chance at survival. But before they could save their civilization, a major problem arose. The destruction of Krypton had turned Argo City's ground into kryptonite due to massive pressure and radiation. As a result, the Kryptonians of Argo City began dying slowly. A scientist of Argo City, whose name was Zor-El, decided to cover the ground with lead so that the kryptonite radiation couldn't escape. His plan worked, and the people of Argo City started seeing him as their hero. Sometime later, Zor-El married a woman from the same city, and they had a daughter, Zor-El. Years passed, and Kara grew into a teenager. One day, a meteor shower struck Argo City. The meteors hit the surface hard enough to break the lead barriers, and kryptonite radiation began spreading through the city again. Zor-El knew that it was impossible to rebuild the barriers this time, and Argo City had reached its final days. So, as a last attempt to save at least one life, Zor-El and his wife decided to send their daughter Kara away. They searched for a planet with a flourishing civilization, and they found Earth. When Kara's mother analyzed Earth, she received a visual signal. In that visual, she saw a hero known by everyone as Superman, who was interestingly a Kryptonian as well. Zor-El and his wife then decided to send Kara to Earth so she could be safe with her fellow Kryptonian. Kara's mother created a suit for her similar to Superman's iconic costume, placed Kara in a space pod, and sent her toward Earth. A month or two later, Argo City was completely destroyed. When Kara finally reached Earth, she was still a late teenager. Her first encounter on Earth was with Superman himself. She told him her entire story, how Argo City survived even after Krypton's destruction, but now her parents were likely gone too. Hearing this, Clark shared his own story and revealed that he was the son of Jor-El. The moment Kara heard this name, she was shocked because Jor-El was the brother of her father, Zor-El, which means Jor-El and Zor-El were siblings, and therefore Clark Kent, Kal-El, and Kara Zor-El are cousins. Knowing this, Superman becomes extremely emotional and happy, because until this moment, he believed he was the last surviving member of his race. But now, he not only has another Kryptonian, but she is actually family. And because of this, as an elder brother, Superman takes responsibility for Kara. He tells her to choose a human name, so she can blend into the human world and understand humanity closely. Kara chooses the name Linda Lee, and from here, the adventures and stories of these two cousins begin. So this is the actual origin story of Supergirl. Over the years, some changes were made to her origin, mainly in Kara's personality. In some stories, she is shown to have a slightly aggressive temper, and in others, she's depicted living an early adult, loss-filled lifestyle. In Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, the comic book inspiring this movie, Kara is portrayed as a young adult slowly discovering her heroism and understanding what it truly means to help someone or save a life. It's a very character-defining story, one that shows us what being Supergirl truly means. Now that we've covered Supergirl's origin, let's talk about what the Supergirl movie is about and why its casting is 90% accurate and 10% strange. Starting with the accurate casting and the Lobo question. If we talk about the cast, Millie Alcock will appear as Supergirl. Everly will play Ruthie, and Matthias Schoenaerts will be seen as Krem of the Yellow Hills. Anyone familiar with the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic would immediately feel satisfied hearing the names Ruthie and Krem, because it confirms the movie is following the correct storyline. But at the same time, comic book readers are scratching their heads wondering what Lobo is doing in this movie. For those who don't know, Lobo had no role at all in the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic. Woman of Tomorrow is a revenge story that also showcases Supergirl's origin. Interestingly, in the DCU, Superman's parents sent him to Earth to rule it. So as fans, we naturally want to know what Supergirl's parents were like. But even then, the obvious question we all have is, what is Jason Momoa's Lobo doing here? Let me tell you, when Tom King was originally writing the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow story, Lobo was present in his first draft. Supergirl and Lobo were supposed to team up to hunt down a common enemy. It was meant to be a space adventure journey where both characters would share the spotlight. However, Tom King's editor told him that Lobo was too chaotic a character to be included, and at that time, Lobo had other ongoing storylines, which could cause continuity issues. Because of this, Tom King removed Lobo from the Woman of Tomorrow storyline. But now that the DCU has picked up this project, James Gunn thought, why not use Tom King's original idea? And honestly, it's better this way because even fans who know the comic are confused and curious about what exactly is going to happen here. And that's the most exciting part. At this point, you can probably understand that Jason Momoa's Lobo is unlikely to be the villain. In my opinion, this might actually be a team-up movie where we see Supergirl and Lobo working together. And honestly, Kara and Lobo teaming up could be explosive because James Gunn has already told us that the DCU Superman is extremely virtuous, whereas Supergirl is the complete opposite. On top of that, Kryptonians in the DCU aren't particularly noble, and that's why Supergirl will likely be shown with a slightly violent nature. And we all know Lobo is a maniac, so a violent character teaming up with a maniac alongside Ruthie could be incredibly interesting. Now you tell me, how did you like the Supergirl teaser trailer? The breakdown is in progress and will be out soon. How excited are you for Jason Momoa's Lobo? And do you think this revenge story will be able to compete with Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is also arriving this summer? Let's talk about all this in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And hey guys, one last thing before I sign off. This year is going to be massive for DCU fans. With Superman, Supergirl, and Lobo all entering the universe together, we're literally watching history being written. So stay tuned, because every update, every leak, and every hidden detail, I'll bring it to you first, right here on this channel. Until then, take care, and I'll catch you in the next breakdown.